I love eating a variety of meals, but there are some that I make over and over again because they are so delicious. So here are 5 recipes that I eat all the time. The first recipe we are making is a breakfast taco. I love making tofu scramble for breakfast in any kind of form, and I thought it would be really cool to make some breakfast tacos, but don't get fooled by the name because it's not only good for breakfast. I just named it breakfast tacos because of the tofu scramble, which is kind of like a breakfast food, but it's perfect for dinner, lunch, or whatever you want. It's filling and easy to put together, which is what we love. I started off by making a quick avocado mash. With a fork, I mashed a ripe avocado, added some red onion, nutritional yeast, extra virgin olive oil, garlic powder, salt, pepper, and lemon juice. I mixed it well and set it aside. Then I went on to make the tofu scramble. I mashed half a firm tofu with a fork. I also sliced a few cherry tomatoes. I transferred the mashed up tofu into a pan, added smoked paprika, salt, pepper, garlic powder, nutritional yeast, olive oil, and to add a nice color, I also added some turmeric. To make it super duper creamy, I always add some plant milk, and I also added the chopped tomatoes to fry together for a few minutes. Once they were done, I set them aside. Hi Kat, are you excited for the tacos? She's playing it cool. In the same pan that I made the tofu scramble in, I added kidney beans with corn. This was like a mixed can that I used. Added garlic powder, smoked paprika, salt, and pepper, and fried them in some olive oil for a couple of minutes. Finally, I heated up the tacos in a few minutes and assembled everything. I added the tofu scramble, the corn and bean mixture, some of the guacamole, and finally some pickled cucumbers because I just really love them. And the breakfast tacos were done. Well, I have the tacos ready. You can add jalapenos instead of the pickled cucumber, of course, but I just love pickled cucumbers too much. Let's eat. I'm done with my clothes. Absolutely amazing. You might be wondering if you can access any of these recipes that are in this video, and the answer is yes, they're on my website, which I created with Squarespace, who is the sponsor of today's video. If you never heard of Squarespace, they are an incredible website building platform where you can create your dream website very easily. Whether you're a business owner, you want to sell things online, write a blog, share your recipes, whatever it is, Squarespace is for you. You can either start it from scratch or you can choose from the many templates they have to offer, and then you can customize it to your own unique taste. I created my website with Squarespace to share my recipes, and it was so fun to make. I started with a template to make my life easier, and it was so easy and manageable to create this website. Squarespace has so many cool features like SEO tools to help you attract more people to your website. They have built-in analytics, so you can track your website's performance. You can also make a logo with them. If you want to try Squarespace and create your dream website, go to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch your new website, go to squarespace.com/Justcallmeflora and use my code Justcallmeflora to save 10% off your first purchase of a domain or a website. I really hope you're gonna love it as much as I do. And thank you so much, Squarespace, for sponsoring today's video. And now let's go and make some more delicious recipes. This next recipe we are making is blueberry pancake recipe for spring. I absolutely adore this one, and I made it several times before, but now I actually have the perfect recipe to make it. It's made with buckwheat flour, and I also add protein powder to make it balanced, and yeah, Let's make it.
Start by mashing a ripe banana with a fork until it's like runny consistency. I didn't have ripe banana and it still worked, but I really recommend making this with a ripe one if possible because it makes it sweeter. Then to make the batter, I mixed the dry ingredients in a bowl, including the soy protein powder, buckwheat flour, ground flax seeds, chia seeds, baking powder, cinnamon, and a pinch of salt. Once combined, I added the wet ingredients as well, including half a lemon zest and juice, vanilla extract, the mashed banana, and plant milk. Here I use soy milk for higher protein, but use whatever plant milk you love and mix well. Then on medium-high heat, I fried the pancakes. I have this lemon olive oil, but of course you don't have to use this kind, just make sure to oil your pan. Added around 1/3 of a cup of batter into the pan, along with a few frozen blueberries. It takes around 2 minutes to fry the first side and a little less on the other side. Patience is key because I sometimes just ruin pancakes by putting the heat too high and then they burn, so make sure to fry them on a low-medium heat. It takes longer, but at least they don't burn. Make sure to also re-oil the pan from time to time in between batches. I topped these delicious blueberry pancakes with some plain coconut yogurt and berries, but honestly, go crazy with the toppings, nut butter, chia jam, whatever you love.
They're done! The next meal we are making is an oyster mushroom noodle that I pretty much make every week in one way or another. It's just so good and very easy to put together. It's done in around 20 minutes. We're gonna use oyster mushrooms and tofu, and we also have some edamame beans, green beans, and red bell pepper, and then we have rice noodles to go with it. I'm starting by just tearing the mushrooms up with my hand and adding it to a pan, like this big or so.
After tearing the oyster mushrooms, I cut up a block of firm tofu into small cubes. I added these to the mushrooms in the pan to cook together. I also finely chopped up a red bell pepper. I seasoned the mushroom tofu mix with garlic powder, pepper, soy sauce, some olive oil, smoked paprika, and optional gochujang if you like things spicy. I fried these for around 8 minutes on medium-high heat. Meanwhile, I boiled some water in the kettle and made the rice noodles by pouring hot water over them in a heat-proof bowl. Make sure that the water covers them fully and drain after around 5 minutes. Once the mushrooms were starting to fry, I mixed in the frozen green beans and edamame beans along with 2 tablespoons of water. I let these cook for another 5 minutes on medium heat. I finally chopped up some peanuts to top the dish with in the end. Then all that left is to add the chopped bell pepper and drained rice noodles to the mushroom mix and combine them well. Sprinkled on those peanuts and the meal was done.
There's no week without pasta for me, so I wanted to share this mushroom chickpea stew recipe with pasta, which is one of my favorite, and it's just so hearty, and it's very Hungarian inspired because all the flavors are just scream Hungarian.
I started off by cutting up all the mushrooms lengthwise. I also diced an onion and 4 cloves of garlic. I cut up 2 tomatoes into bite-sized pieces and some fresh parsley. I also drained a can of chickpeas and rinsed them. Then I started to saute the onion and garlic in olive oil. Once they were golden, I added the mushrooms and let them cook on medium-high heat. Takes around 15 minutes, which is the perfect time to make the macaroni pasta and to prep the sauce. In a blender, I added half a block of silken tofu, cashews, pepper, salt, nutritional yeast, vegetable broth powder, smoked paprika, garlic powder, and some plant milk and water to blend. I blended these until smooth and set aside. I went back to the mushrooms, adding the tomatoes and chickpeas to cook together for a few minutes. Then I poured over the sauce and some pasta water, as well as 2 handfuls of baby spinach leaves to get in some greens. Let them cook for another 1 to 2 minutes and finally added the drained pasta. Mixed everything well and topped with fresh parsley. I served this with pickled cucumbers. It is literally such an amazing compliment to this dish. It was so flavorful and comforting.
It's done! So good. Oh my god. Make sure to have pickles with it because it takes it to the next level. It's kind of mandatory, I would say. Put your favorite pickle on it and you're not gonna regret it. We have arrived to the final recipe, which is a stuffed sweet potato. If you follow me for a while, you know I love this recipe, and I'm gonna use the same sauce that we used for the pasta, just to show you another way to use up that sauce, because we only use half a block of silken tofu in that one, so this is the perfect opportunity to use up the other half if you don't know what to do with it, and drizzle on this amazing sweet potato dish. And it also makes it high protein, which we love, to make us feel fuller for longer and satiated. It's a really easy recipe and mostly done in the oven. The biggest thing you have to do is cutting up things and the sauce. Let's dive in.
Started this one off by rinsing and cooking the 1 cup of quinoa in 2 cups of water with some vegetable broth powder and salt to make it tasty. Meanwhile, I peeled the sweet potatoes and cut them lengthwise in half. I also cut up a head of broccoli into bite-sized pieces. Then I also rinsed a can of chickpeas. I transferred the sweet potatoes onto a parchment-lined baking sheet and the broccoli and chickpeas to another. Season the chickpeas with pepper, salt, smoked paprika, garlic powder, and drizzled on some olive oil. The broccoli I seasoned with garlic powder, pepper, salt, and again drizzled on some olive oil. Put the sweet potatoes in the oven to bake. It takes around 40 to 45 minutes, and I only add the chickpeas and broccoli once the potatoes are in for 30 minutes. For the sauce, again, I used cashews, plant milk, smoked paprika, garlic powder, salt, pepper, nutritional yeast, and silken tofu. Blend it until smooth and set it aside. Once everything was baked, I assembled the meal by smashing half of the sweet potato with a fork, added some quinoa, broccoli, chickpeas, and finally drizzled on some of that sauce.
So I made the stuffed sweet potato. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!